to 3, and oh boy, I really didn't think I'd be saying that when halfway through this game. I was actually figuring out what alcohol I was going to drink if we lost. For those who are new here, I usually make myself a drink of some variety if they lose, just to help me get through the video. And I was like researching cocktails, maybe do some scotch on the rocks, and yeah, lo and behold, a victory from nowhere. So the Penguins end up sweeping this little series. They beat Washington Capitals in both games. The Caps are really in for it because they broke some protocols when it comes to COVID. So like Ovi and Kuznetsov and a few other players are on the list now that can't play. So they're in a little bit of spot of bother. I don't know if that's going to affect if they're going to postpone games, because I've noticed like Carolina had 5 players out and they were good players, so they're like, oh yeah, we're just going to postpone some games now. But let's jump into the game, shall we? And we start off with my first gripe. I really don't want commentators anymore to say this game has a playoff feel. The Penguin commentators especially really seem to lean into this one. I don't have any beef with the Penguins commentary team, but like, it's not a playoff game. I know what you're trying to say, that there's a bit more on the line here. It's got a little bit more gusto to it. If that was a playoff game, that would be a pretty appalling sight to watch. So like, let's just leave playoff hype for the playoffs, or close to it. At least let's get a bit closer. Let's at least play like 10 games before we start mentioning playoffs. Kasperi Kapanen makes his debut as a Penguin, and for some reason I thought he'd already played a game as a Penguin. I don't know why I thought that. I was shocked when it's like debut as a Penguin. I was like, oh yeah, you're right. We did trade him before he even had a chance to have a game. So he's back. So yeah, he's the first round pick that the Penguins have ever had that traded away, played for another team, and then came back and made his debut for the team. So that's a fun stat. And before any play starts, DeSmith is in net as well. So he gets the shot. He's getting the ball to run with it at the moment. Jari wasn't good to start off with. There's no starter controversy. Jari is the starter. He'll get it going at some point this season. I guarantee it. Just not with it right now. That's why you have someone else. DeSmith can take the torch a little bit. He's just not consistent enough, I don't think, to be a starter. But we'll find out, won't we? So, game starts and both teams are just really feeling each other out. It looked like it was two teams at the first of a playoff series that hadn't met before. Even though they played 2 nights ago, neither team really wanted to make a mistake. That's the way they were playing. Wasn't many scoring chances for the first 5 minutes. Both teams weren't really super aggressive either on the puck. It was just a little game. But then the first period really does change. Rukala tries to get the puck to the net. He winds up to it, but he just seemed to get the high part of the puck. He doesn't get all of it, and it just sort of whiffs down to the defense, and all of a sudden the Capitals are away on a 4-on-2. Oshie has all the time in the world to make a fantastic pass to Lars Eller, and DeSmith, Eller had a bit of time to shoot that, and I'm a little bit disappointed that DeSmith was kind of waiting for another pass. I think it kind of caught him out that ended up being a shot, just the way that Eller did hold that for a split second, and I thought it was enough time for DeSmith to get across. In saying that, I'm not going to blame him for a goal that's a 4-on-2. There's so much going on in front of him. It would have been an unreal save if he got it. But, and it's 1-0, but at this point, it's still not horrendous. And then it really got bad for this team. The Washington Capitals at this point looked like they were just going to win the game. Wilson had a great shot in front of net. Sprong, it's amazing Sprong hasn't scored, because every ex-Penguin always scores against us. Sprong has a great one-timer. Oshie hits the post. And these are real high-scoring opportunities, and it's not like DeSmith is robbing them either. It's coming off the post, they're whiffing on the pucks. It was just plays like that happening, and it was just like, eventually they're going to get burned. It's way too high-scoring opportunities being scored on them. The Penguins were flat. They were slow to the puck. It was super easy for the Washington Capitals to put the puck in front of the net, and again, they got very lucky that the Capitals whiffed on it a few times. DeSmith really did not have a good first period. We'll obviously get to some of that, but yeah, it was just terrible. Like, the defense was just behind. It was like that you know what a horse does well, and they weigh it down to help out everyone else. That was like the Penguins just had weighted vests on. They couldn't keep up with the Capitals, and I don't even think the Capitals were playing all that well. They were just like, oh, there's a free dude there. I'm just gonna pass it, and that was that's how the whole period just went. The third line was looking okay. Kapanen was looking great immediately, making some digs, making things happen on this fourth line. No real luck yet, but it was still moving around. But some luck kind of goes the Penguins' way. They score a goal against the grain. What I mean by that is it's still Capitals. They're just getting non-stop chances. They get a pass that goes across the ice in the middle of the slot, and it goes all the way through everyone. I don't know how no one touches this. This puck goes past about 8 players, hits the board in the Penguins' defensive zone, and Kapanen, who I mentioned, he was moving, he was shaking, and I definitely think he's going to be better than first liner Evan Rodriguez. We're still going to call him first liner Evan Rodriguez. And he flies down. There's a back checking forward. There's 2 defenders that he manages to keep back. He puts on a great shot on net. Vanacek, who's in net, who really is an AHL goalie. He was even in the ECHL. He's in there because Lundqvist didn't obviously report after the heart surgery, which is fair enough, heart surgery. Doesn't control the puck at all. Bluger puts it in the net. The goal ends up going to Colton Scevia later on. I still don't see how he touched it. I feel like he hit Bluger's stick, so I'm a little bit annoyed that they stole the goal from Theodis Bluger's, because he's actually been good too. He needs to work on his face-off game, but he's been decent. But the score is 1-1, and I was kind of like, okay, well, this wakes up the Penguins. They shouldn't be anywhere near this game. It should be 4-0. But here we are. That optimism lasted about 7 seconds. Caps win the face-off. Give it to Wilson, and he just blazes a puck through. You're just like, wow, okay. It's a face-off, you are set, like everyone should be set at that point, and you just shouldn't be able to get such a good shot without someone in the way. DeSmith nowhere near it either. Again, it's a very good shot. I'm not going to blame DeSmith for this period. It just would have been nice if you saved one of these. I think that's probably the difference that I'm sort of getting at. But I'm not. The blame does not rest on him. And it's 2-1, and you're like, yeah, okay, that sounds about right. That's on me for getting false hope. But the Penguins are lucky. 2-1 going into this break. They don't deserve to be 2-1. But however, if they can go on the break 2-1, they might be able to recompose. However, the hockey gods agreed with me, and one too many defensive lapses. Carlson is very easy to get into the zone. It's just the Penguins are in slow motion, and what have you know it, Wilson just charges to the net. There's only 2 Capitals in the offensive zone. There's no way someone should be able to just get to the net in front of everyone else. Wilson is, and he's able to put it in a pretty good goal that goes 5-hole off a little tip. And Wilson gets 2 goals. Again, not suspended in 2 games by him, so that's a good effort from him. And it is 3-1 going to the break. And at this point, I was like, this game's done. Like, the Penguins aren't even trying. There's so many high-scoring chances. I was pretty down. I was messaging Mike, just going like, what alcohol should I be drinking tonight? Because, I'm definitely doing that in this video. But, as I said in the last video, both of these teams are definitely not at the height of their powers and are anywhere near it because they're not playing a full game without making some horrendous mistakes. The Capitals allow the Pittsburgh Penguins to get back into this game. They give a 5-on-3 away penalty, and there's just a little bit. I know the power play hasn't been great, but there's just too much skill for this to happen. It's kind of tic-tacking everywhere. Crosby puts it to Rust. Rust kind of looks like he's going to shoot it, holds it for a second, waits for the defender to go down. It was a really good poise from Rust, who, I think he's been around there this season. He's been hurt a bit by playing with Malkin. But really good poise from him. Good to see. I think he'll definitely start lining up the lamp soon. He crosses it over and Gensel's right there and he puts it in. Also helps my fantasy team because Gensel's on it. So again, the Penguins don't deserve to be here. They don't do well for the rest of the power play when it becomes just a one-man advantage. The Capitals are going again. Sprong gets it to the net. Kuznetsov gets the rebound again to Smith. I'm not going to say it's his fault, but a little bit more rebound control. I think that's the difference between a starter and someone like DeSmith. But he might get better, so we're not going to throw it all out. Then the Penguins get into penalty trouble again. Ruhwedel again is the culprit after Gensel's hooking call. Ruhwedel gets another penalty, so puts a 5-on-3, which is twice now Ruhwedel's done that on the PK. He's given a penalty away, 5-on-3, and I was like, they're definitely going to score. It's like a minute 20. There's no way they're not going to score, and there's no way a goal's not going to be scored on this 5-on-3. And I would have been very correct with that. The Capitals just kind of put it on the net for some reason. It looked like they were getting a change to put on the other power play, but none of them seemed to change. It just seemed to be I think it was meant to be a dump that just went a bit wide. DeSmith grabbed it, put it on his stick and just threw it up the ice. That's all he was doing. He was trying to clear the puck. If you look where Bluger is on the wide shot, this is not a set play. Bluger, however, gone. Like a greyhound when that rabbit's gone. He was off, and he tucks it in 5-hole on the breakaway, and I leapt out of my seat. 4-on-3. The commentary team was saying that I think the last time that they saw this was Park. However, I was like, nah, I'm pretty sure Matt Cook did this. In the same game, Matt Cook also got a delay of game for shooting a puck, trying to clear a puck on a power play. It was either the same game or the same week. He cleared it from the defensive zone, and it went over the goalie's head, and it was a delay again because it went over the glass. And I've just never seen anyone clear a puck like 200 feet before, so I was like, oh my lord. And I thought that was funny. And I think it was the same week that Matt Cook scored on a 5-on-3 as well, so I was like, no, I remember that. So that was the first 5-on-3 goal since 2012, we think. A few people said, like, I'm pretty sure it's that one, and I don't remember anyone since, so if you do know, let me know. But, when you score like that, that's going to change the game around completely. And again, it's the Capitals, right? Like, letting the Penguins in. This is why I don't think they're going to be as hot of a team. Their backup goalie has definitely got some holes like Swiss cheese, but they are not a complete team yet. They're nowhere near it. Both times they should have won probably both of these games, but they've let the Penguins in, and then the Penguins just have a little bit too much skill to get over the line. They then give up another power play, and Malkin scores his first goal of the season. It is a one-time shot that is just a perfect shot. It goes up high, even though it wasn't quick. The way he got rid of the puck there, there's something up, but it is 4-4. It's a tie game, and I'm speechless at this point. I cannot believe with the way that this team played in the first period that they were not put away 7-1. But yeah, here we are. It helps when Bluger had a great game, by the way, like an assist and a goal. I really think the other one probably should have been his goal. But yeah, it was awesome. The reason why the Penguins were on the power play, I did forget to mention this, was Oshie, the blind hit on Peterson. A lot of people on Twitter were like, that was head. Like, I kind of looked at the replay. I don't think it was, but it's still not a great look. I don't think players should be ejected for that hit, but I think it should be a double minor. Just, there should be a harsh penalty there, because I don't think Peterson was injured of it, but you need to get rid of that blind late hit, because it was pretty late and it was blind. I think there needs to be a sterner penalty just because it's not in the head. Still needs to be more than just interference. Third period, it looked really worrisome because the Penguins were starting with 4 defenders, but obviously that evened out. And both teams, even though I think Capitals could have won that with the defensive woes because Rukla and Patterson weren't on the bench, both teams played for the extra point. I would say the last game, same thing happened. Like, there was a whole period. I've never seen two teams work so hard to get a pity point. This time it was the opposite. It's like that they were trying just not to make any mistakes, so they definitely got that pity point. It goes into overtime, and the Capitals played with fire again, and just didn't work out their way. Gensel to Letang gives it to Crosby, and Crosby's just able to just hold it a little bit and just put it into the net after it comes off the goalie. And Bob's your uncle. That's the OT winner. It is 5-4, and the Pittsburgh Penguins have now won 2 games out of 4. They're 500. Don't think they deserve any wins at the moment, but at this point of the season, I still think the Penguins' upside is there. Like, they can definitely, they're trying. The first period was the worst period I've seen since the play-in rounds, but in a regular season game, it's the worst period I've seen in a long time. Probably that the Blackhawks game when they got thumped 10-1. I think Niemi was in net. Was it Niemi? Can't remember who was in net, but it was a terrible game. It was just a woeful game. And they just didn't try at the start, and that it just reminded me of that. But the fact that they are now 500 without playing well. If they can get their game together, this is going to be massive. Because if you go 0-4 in such a short season, it's going to hurt. It's really going to hurt when you leave those points on the table. They've obviously given 2 points to the Capitals. This is the thing, you've really got to start winning in regulation. But at the start of the season, just get those points, so that's huge. Anyway, guys, that is the whole video. Sorry it was a bit late. Cricket training went pretty over after the game. Tomorrow's video will be just on normal time. Won't have to be any delays or anything like that, which is good. But if you did like this video, hit the like button. Otherwise, hit subscribe. It really does help us out. We're really pushing some big numbers lately. Comment down below, what did you think of the game? Do you disagree with anything I said? Do you agree with anything that I said? Just be nice. Just a nice little bit of niceness instead of the usual stuff about Trump for some reason. I don't know why that comes up all the time, but it just does. Anyway, thank you so much for watching. Have a great day. See you, and bye.